He didn't know about it, you know? So that's why you do these things, so we can get a little bit more attention. And now it becomes, today, like a little bit more relevant. So hopefully people will see it and they'll be able to move on this, and they're going to experience it.
Are you concerned that there's been too much focus on the sales tax and not enough?
No. I'm not. No. I just think that all the tax stuff, it just gets complicated, and you know, sometimes it's tied into the budget and all that. But no, I don't think there's been any. You know, I don't think there's been any inordinate amount of writing about sale. I mean, I don't know. Have you been writing a lot about it? I don't really know. But I mean, I think that the point is we want to have a tax system to encourage growth, and we also want to make sure that people, you know, who are going to be vulnerable to this have some help, which is why we did this earned income tax credit. So,
Governor, it's Labor Day weekend. What is your message about labor in Ohio?
Well, I think labor's good and labor's strong. I mean, just yesterday being out at Fanatics and having a guy from Florida come in and say, you know, we love the workforce here, we love the attitude. You know, clearly, I think we're trying to get better skilled workers. But, you know, the DNA of an Ohioan is you work very hard for a day for a good day's pay. Look, I'm very, very positive about the future of the state. Again, it's a great location. We got great scale. We've got, you know, we're doing everything to reduce costs. I mean, I'm talking to these CEOs all the time from all over the country and in the state, and you know, we're not all the way back yet, but we're gaining. We're gaining, and you know, and the really most important message is when you create a job, you're healing the family. When you work in a job and you do a good job, you're providing space for somebody else to get a job. It's like at Fanatics yesterday. You know, there's some part-time workers out there. So when you do your job, you're creating a space for somebody else. We got great people in a great state, and I'm telling you, we're absolutely on the way back. I'm really pleased. Just wish we could be farther along, but it's a long way back from where we were.
At what point you talked about eliminating Ohio's income tax? Is that still?
Well, yeah, I mean, it would be ideal, but you know, you can see how difficult it was to do this tax cut. Fortunately, members of the legislature have bought into it. The fact that we were able to be more efficient in running the government allowed us to get part of the way there. But I think tax reform is still very important, but it's not easy. When we look at Washington, they talk about tax reform, and it goes nowhere. We're trying to include people now to talk about additional tax reform. I think the members understand, the leaders understand that we need this. And look, cynics would say we do this because we're trying to get votes. I'm doing this because I know as these taxes go down and encourage work and investment, we can do much better. And that's why it's so important. But the debate kind of went away for a while, and everything was a tax credit. I mean, tax credits are fine, but tax credits take away from your ability to lower these marginal rates, which I think are really critical. So.
You said you thought conservatives lost the ability or lost the argument.
I think they lost interest. No, I just think they lost interest. I mean, you know, there was just a lot of tax credits and lots of sketchy kind of programs, and but I think the rates need to come down. Now, look, in '97 we lowered the capital gains tax. That brought in a tremendous amount of receipts. That was really important. We did do a tax credit for families. Didn't really probably result in any economic growth, but I believe that the lower rates will result in economic growth over time, and we're just going to keep doing it.
Governor, on Medicaid reform, you've been very patient. You wanted to work with the legislature. Now we're hearing the House is not even going to be back until mid-October-ish, looking at 10, 12 bills. I mean, does there come a point where you as the leader say, look, this has got to be done, and we're going to do it?
Well, I understand Michigan just did something, right? Look, there is a growing recognition in our state that the drug problem is everywhere. The leaders are understanding this. We need money to rehab our folks, get them off of drugs. There is a recognition now more than ever about the problem of mental illness. We can't have people who are mentally ill on the streets or in our jails. And the working poor, you know, now that people are beginning to understand that if you get you get cash assistance, you have to work. If you get food stamps, you have to work. You know, that's one of the issues that was hanging out there. I've talked to the leaders. Now, they told me that, you know, they're going to go through this process. They know that I'm watching the process. And I have to tell you, at the end of the day, there will be some need to have legislative consent. Now, if I put them in a corner and I question their credibility, I don't want to cut off my nose to spite my face and lose this thing. But have no doubt that I think it is critical that we rehab people on drugs and help people who are mentally ill and get some insurance for people who are working poor. So stay tuned.
So, Governor, last week you're in the latest public policy polling that came out, fairly well respected operation.
Really? By you?
No, by the country.
Okay. I
by
didn't know
folks that measure those kinds of things.
I don't look at polls, so I
well,
don't know.
your staff probably does. Anyway, the point is, you're trailing Ed Fitzgerald by 3 points.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not well known outside of Cuyahoga County, and you seem not be doing as well as you should with women and independent voters. How do you patch that back up?
I don't read polls, and I don't accept the premise of every poll that comes out. I don't even look at it. We're fine. Fine. Do my job. That's all I care about. Look, you do your job, and you let people judge how you've done. If they like it, keep you longer. If they don't like it, you get another job. It's just that simple. I don't really spend much time thinking or worrying about any of this stuff.
One more question.
Governor, you talked about talking to people about moving to Ohio, volunteers, things like that. We got the news this week that in Ohio we have a facial recognition system being used with our driver's license plates. How does that impact?
Have a what now?
A facial recognition system being used with our license photos. How does that?
Well, we have not moved forward at the Bureau of Motor Vehicles to operate that technology. We have not done that yet. And, you know, I am concerned about the level of government knowledge about everything about us. I have concerns about the NSA. I have concerns about not using the FISA court. I have concerns about an overzealous group of people that are violating their own rules that have been established. So when it comes to this issue, there's value in it, but I want to slow down and get this right, and I want to work with the leaders in the legislature. I understand the issue of law enforcement. It's important.